welcome back. This is Become a Bat, your golden age. Right now, it's kind of a golden age Batman podcast, wouldn't you say?
It's definitely golden age. We're
Yeah.
nowhere near the silver age right now.
No, we still got a good decade away.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to figure out exactly when Batman's golden age starts, because I was reading up, and I was like, when is the golden age? I always kind of imagined it as like the 50s, but apparently it's just kind of like each character has like their own golden age. So like I think that's more how
Pretty
they rank
much.
it.
Yeah, see, I always think of the golden age of Batman. I think of the golden age of Batman and the golden age of comics differently. Because the golden age of Batman is like 1939 through, basically like 1950 something.
Yeah.
But the golden age of comics to me isn't that long of a period, right? I feel like the golden age of comics to me is like the 40s.
Yeah, I always
Because it
think-
does change a lot between the 40s and 50s.
Yeah, I think of it as like the 40s and like World War II ends, which is kind of like, I don't know if you consider that like a midpoint of the golden age, or
Yeah,
but that's when
probably.
like it
That's
kind
when-
of cools off after the war.
Yeah, I was gonna say comics got really, really good at one point, and then they kind of like turned down a little bit and become a little more kiddie. But it's still the golden age.
Yeah. One thing that surprised me is just how like when you think golden age, like before we did this, like when I thought golden age Batman, I was thinking like, the really like the Monster Hunter, vampire hunter style
Yeah.
with the
Pulp hero Batman
The pulp
with
hero
the gun and the huge ears, and that's to me
that was
still,
only like barely like 2-3 issues.
but that to me is still golden age Batman.
It is, but I'm surprised at how short that time is, and now he's like morphed into basically what I would imagine very close is the Silver Age.
That guy right there.
Yep.
See, now I feel like when I refer to that Batman, that one you just brought up, I just call him first appearance Batman, because that's really what he is. He's
Yeah.
the first appearance of Batman, and he evolves very quickly. And now when I think golden age Batman, I think of like the Batman we're reading about right now. So
Yep. So currently, this episode we're going to finish off Batman number 6. Oh, also it's our 25th episode.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
dang.
You know what though? I'm thinking just because it's Batman, let's not make that a milestone. Let's make the 27th episode a milestone.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. All right. So Batman number 6, story 3. This is the Iron Jungle. I forgot to put down who did it, but like the team hasn't changed yet at all. It's still Bob Kane, art by Bob Kane, Jerry Robinson, George Russos, and art by Bill Finger. I mean, written by Bill Finger.
Hey, I just thought of something. How many weeks away is Halloween?
It's good. From the day we're recording, we got close to 2 months. So what, 8?
Dang, it almost falls on the 31st episode.
Oh,
So close.
yeah. Oh,
Whatever.
give or take. Okay, so let's get into Batman 6, story number 3, The Iron Jungle.
Totally reading this splash page.
Yeah, go for it.
I guess I should describe it first.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got Batman and Robin, and they're in an oil yard, which I guess they call the Iron Jungle here in Gotham City. And they're up on top of a giant oil drum, and they have someone suspended by a rope, and Batman is either pulling them up or letting them down. I can't really tell which. While there are men on the ground holding guns and hammers, shooting at them. That's basically it. These men want to kill them, and it looks like they're either trying to save somebody or, I don't know, hang them. I can't tell.
Something like that.
Yeah, but it's an interesting cover. There's a lot going on though. Like there's so many intersecting lines because there's like pipes running off of it and rivets, and then there's like towers in the background. It's a lot. It's still really complicated. I'm not a big fan of this one. All right, let's get into this. The Batman and his right-hand lieutenant Robin, the Boy Wonder, campaign against crime in the Iron Jungle, a weird land where long abandoned oil derricks, their smashed girders sprawling fantastically, stalk like prehistoric monsters through the weird shadows of the metal trees. Sweep the Batman and Robin, a whirlwind regiment of 2, to join titanic battle with crime and double dealing and unravel the tangled web of terror which hides the secret of the Iron Jungle. I almost butchered that one.
You're much better at it than me.
Yeah, like sometimes I find myself taking too big of a space because I'm like, oh shit,
Yeah.
because I like jump down a line or something. But I really like these. I like getting the timing down a lot.
Yeah.
They're fun.
All right, so on to the synopsis. Our story begins with Batman patrolling the rooftops when he hears a man yelling for help. He's thrown out a window, and Batman catches him. The man is a representative of Page Oil Company, and the men who threw him out, the men who threw him out, are working to destroy the company. The next day, Bruce Wayne meets up with his girlfriend Linda Page, and we find out that she's actually the daughter of Tom Page, the owner of the oil company. She tells Bruce that her dad's having trouble with his in his Texas oil fields. His business associates are trying to squeeze him out, and right before a expected gusher happens to send the stocks soaring. And they make like a note, like she says gusher, and then like there's like a note, like an editor's note almost saying like it's when a bunch of oil explodes at a oil field, and they make a lot of money.
I like how they have to put that note in there.
Yeah, just think of There Will Be Blood.
Yeah.
So as Bruce arrives, he witnesses Masters, Page's business partner, choking him. Bruce interrupts and he beats Masters up. Masters escapes and he sends some of his goons after them. Bruce leaves Page's office and is approached by the goons. Bruce isn't intimidated by them, and he goes on to make them look like absolute fools. This actually makes them turn on each other for not being able to rough up this mamby-pamby rich boy. So Master sneaks in while a couple of goons. Master sneaks in with a couple of goons, and he shoots Tom Page. He's injured, but he's not dead. They plan on tying him up on a derrick in the titular Iron Jungle in a final bid to get him to sell out.
I like how they tell you what a gusher is, but they don't tell you what a derrick is.
Yeah. So Bruce tells Robin to suit up into their work clothes. At this time, Linda shows up in her car, and Masters forces his way in the car and has her drive. Batman and Robin make chase in an industrial truck, with Robin behind the wheel. Batman jumps from the truck to Linda's car, and Linda passes out right before Batman jumps onto her car. Batman picks up Linda, and he jumps back into the truck. The bad guys shoot the truck, which makes it crash, and it explodes into a fiery inferno. Batman and Robin and Linda are safe. So Batman tracks down Masters to the Iron Jungle. Batman climbs to the top of a derrick to try to save Tom Page. There's men above him trying to push him down while men below are trying to shoot him. Robin runs in and he fights the men below, and Robin tries to fight his way up, but he gets clobbered. Robin tries to fight his way up, but he gets clobbered on the head. So Batman swoops in to save him, and he puts him somewhere safe. Batman climbs up the derrick, but Masters is shooting him from above. The derrick breaks, and Batman, Page, and Masters all fall to the ground. Luckily, they fall like on this oily, like the spongy oil like lake on the oil field, so they're fine. Batman Page tells Batman that they're about to start blasting in a few minutes, and it might be the gusher that they're waiting for. So they need to run for it. So they need to get there fast because one, the rain might ruin the nitro, and obviously you don't want to get caught in the blast. So Batman, he's about to set the charges when Masters shows up, and he's about to shoot Batman. This is when Robin jumps in, twists Masters' arm so that Masters ends up shooting himself in the head. Batman sets off the charge, and the oil gushes. Linda and Bruce drive home. The end.
That's such a dark moment.
It is.
Robin forces a dude to shoot himself in the head.
Yeah. And like that's my panel of this, probably the panel of the issue.
Mine too. That was my takeaway. Like
all of
what?
Batman 6. I saw that and instantly fell in love with the panel.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about the panel now, so we might as well just get it not get out. Let's talk about this panel because it's
let me scroll down.
I saw it and I had to just
it literally looks like
stop.
He's shooting the guy in the head, but
yeah,
he's holding his arm that's holding the gun and pointing his own gun at his head.
Out of context, though, Robin's expression is so nonchalant. It's no thing. It reminds me of Kenshiro in Fist of the North Star.
Yeah.
That there's a scene where somebody shoots him with an arrow.
Yeah.
And Kenshiro just casually pulls his hand up in front of his face. He catches the arrow between his two fingers, and he flips the arrow and just flicks it, and it goes in the guy's head.
Yep.
That's what this reminds me of. Just Robin, just nope, and just he handed him a Uno reversal card.
Basically. But I like that he flips the gun around, and the dude shoots himself in the head, and then he just steps back and he's like, well, Batman is certainly right. Crime does not pay. It's like, dude, you're the one that did that.
Yeah.
Robin.
It is incredible. I saw that and I instantly had to change the my Twitter profile picture to that one directly. Like I'm astonished by how good that panel is.
It's really good.
Okay, so I mean, why don't we just change the reverse, like the order of this?
Yeah.
We didn't really have too many other panels for this one. I don't know if
Yeah, I kind of did this within one of the other issues
Yeah.
that we're going to get into, where I threw the panels into my synopsis, mid-synopsis, because I wanted to reference them right away.
Mhm.
I'm not going to do that forever, but
Okay.
I felt like it was appropriate with that one.
Yeah, let's talk about the other two panels we chose, and then we'll get into our thoughts on the overall issue.
You chose the top one here. I would have picked it too.
Yeah, it's I mean, they seem to pale in comparison to the other one, but it's Robin just making a run for it. He's charging towards. It's a 3-part panel. Robin charging towards a couple of the gunmen who are shooting at Batman when he's trying to get up. The first one is like it's just it's dialogue free. He's charging. The second one, he's tackling one of the guys, and then he punches the other guy in the head and like in the chin.
Perfect
it's
comedic
good. It is-
delivery, though, because while he's tackling one guy, the other guy's like, it's only a kid.
Yeah.
And then he's like, then Robin's like, with a big punch, and he socks the dude in the face. Like, it's really funny.
Yeah,
They're getting better at those, like, multi-panel comedic fight scenes.
they are.
They're getting really good. This one I picked here, I just really like, again, like, what's going on is whatever. Like, this is after Batman falls and lands in, like, the oil puddle, and they're standing up. I just think, like, for the era that this was drawn in, and I know there was more detailed art in other comics at the time, but for it being Batman, because I feel like the Batman art's usually pretty simplistic,
Yeah.
this panel is drawn really well. Like, it actually looks like there's, like, oil running off of their bodies.
Yeah, you could tell that there's like a kind of a battle happened. Like there's a lot of damage around.
Yeah, there's broken pieces of equipment or, like, a scaffolding. I guess it's probably an oil derrick.
Yeah.
And then Batman also looks like he's having trouble getting up. Like, he's supporting himself on his knee, and he's got one arm on his like elbow. Like, he's having trouble just kind of putting in the pressure to get up. And same with the old man. He's like down on his knees still,
Yeah, Tom Page.
covered in oil.
Yeah, it's got good atmosphere.
It really is. It's very atmospheric. Usually I tend to go for either the really iconic, like, one-off panels or, like, really atmospheric pages.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, let's get into our thoughts here.
Yeah, what thoughts do you have on this issue overall?
Well, I always like seeing Bruce Wayne actually fight his own battles instead of having to, like, run away and dress up like Batman and come back and fight his battles.
Yeah, I think because Linda wasn't in that room directly, he's just
Yeah.
like, I can let loose. I'm not even in Gotham right now. They don't know who I am.
The Bruce Wayne starting, like, 2 stories ago, so I guess, like, 2 episodes ago, started feeling more and more like the way they portray Bruce Wayne in Batman the Animated Series.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like he's pretty much there right now.
Yeah.
Like, over these next couple episodes we're recording, he dresses like him, he looks more like him, he acts more like him.
Mm-hmm.
He's funnier, but he's also capable of more depth, and, like I said, he fights his own battles. This is what, like, the second time that he's actually gotten a skirmish with somebody in his casual clothes.
Yeah, like if they didn't make like a plot point of it, not a plot point, but like a little specific mention that he's wearing a white suit, so they can have one of the goons like dirty it up with the handprint.
Yeah.
Like I could just imagine him being in that ugly brown suit that Bruce Wayne wore in like
Right.
all of the anime series.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
know what? He
And it would fit.
he stopped wearing, like, the Hugh Hefner coat and smoking so much,
Oh yeah.
and, like, wearing hats and other stuff. He resembles the classic Bruce Wayne more now.
Mm-hmm.
What else is there to say about this one?
Well, I want to talk about Linda. She comes from a really wealthy family.
Well, I was gonna say that too. It seems
Yeah.
like Batman's gonna be, like, dating heiresses now or something
I think it makes sense for somebody of him
of his
like,
caliber.
of his caliber to do
Yeah.
that. Like her uncle owns an aviation company,
Mhm.
and I think that issue actually comes out after this one. I can't remember. But
Chronologically,
like,
it might,
yeah, like one's detective, one's it's hard to keep up. And yeah, her dad owns a Texas oil field. So it actually makes the fact that she like chooses to become a nurse like pretty admirable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like Bruce Wayne choosing to become Batman. It's not like he gets paid to be Batman.
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
just out there to do good.
Yeah, and like Batman's like, I mean, Bruce is like secretly proud of her in the issue where she becomes a nurse.
Yeah.
Also, I was wondering like if Linda Page would put 2 and 2 together and figure out that Bruce is Batman, because this is like the second time they go to one of her family's businesses and Batman comes to save them, and this time they're all the way out in Texas, And I figured like as soon as she got kidnapped in this one, like all the
Yeah.
bad guys were gonna die just because like and then Batman and Robin would disappear just because like there'd be no witnesses to see Batman and Robin in Texas.
Yeah.
But like it's very unclear if like Linda saw Batman before she passed out, if she was like out that whole time.
Maybe she did. She thought it was a dream or something.
Maybe,
We'll
but
find
then
out
like
next.
but then like her dad's there and he like directly interacts with Batman, so
Yeah.
maybe he's just like kind of older and he's like oh, this guy's helping me. He doesn't even like, he's so shocked, like he's got a bullet wound in him too, so he's like in shock and doesn't even like put two and two together. That is really weird that this is a guy in a bat suit like
Yeah.
fighting crime.
Yeah. A bat suit that doesn't really look like a bat at all anymore.
No. I
Only
had
really did in that first appearance outfit.
I had one last thought on this one too,
Hmm.
because it got me thinking. Did you ever see? I don't think you would have. Did you ever see the? It's an old, almost kind of soap opera called Dynasty.
No, but I know what it is. I know about it.
Yeah. So for the audience members, I don't think anybody in our audience knows Dynasty, though they did do a remake.
You
not
never
too long
know. We
ago.
might have some listeners who are like my parents' age. They would have grown up watching Dynasty.
Probably, but it's like a soap opera. It takes place about it, like it's about a rich oil family. So it kind of got me thinking of that in my head about that with the oil field, and the main character of it, like the head of the titular dynasty, he's played by an actor named John Forsyth, and I read this years ago, but apparently because he's an older guy when they made this show in the 80s.
Mhm.
Apparently, I don't know if this is true or not, that John Forsyth was Bob Kane's personal pick to play Batman.
Really?
Yeah, like,
Interesting.
and like when I watched it, I kept thinking he's got a very Bruce Wayne kind of like thing to him. Like Bruce Wayne, if Bruce Wayne didn't become Batman,
I'll
it's
have
just
to look
like
it up.
a regular rich guy. Like he definitely had some, reminded me of him.
Very jovial.
Yeah, well, not really jovial, just kind of straight to the fact. I mean, it's a soap opera, so
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking.
I can see that.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever get another chance to bring up Dynasty and Batman again.
You never
so,
know.
Yeah, we do have like 7 decades to go through.
Yeah. You ready to move on to the next?
So yeah, we're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna get into story number 4, Suicide Beat, which it's got a lot going on in that one. So
it does.
Stick around. Thank you.
Yeah, I like that new Superpowers Batman figure. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was surprised I managed to find it. I checked 2 Walmarts. The one Walmart I went to first didn't have them, and the Walmart that I didn't want to go to because it's such a pain. Even though it's closer, it's such a pain to get in and out of.
It's Walmart. It's always pain.
Yeah, like I ended up going there for something else, and they had the Superpowers Batman figures. The Batman, they had the Dark Side, they had the Jon Stewart, they had the Superman.
Dang.
So I wanted to hone in and get Batman first, but they had so much stock, so I'm gonna go back maybe this weekend. Get
Should probably get Superman at least.
yeah,
I've actually owned all variations of the Superpowers Batman figure, like the statue ones by Kotobukiya. There was another remake of them that came out like probably like 10 years ago, and then I had the original ones too. The both versions of the originals, like the blue and gray, and then like the black and gray looking one.
they're excellent.
Yeah, they're super cool, and they were fully functional. Like they still had all their little moves and stuff.
We are going to finish this off with the last story in Batman number 6. It's called Suicide Beat.
That is right.
All right, so I'm gonna describe the splash page,
You gonna read it too?
and I'm gonna read it. So
You're not gonna butcher it.
I can't promise that.
I like just put your finger there and like follow along with the words.
That is a good idea. All right, so but let me describe the splash page. So it's oh, did I just mute? What the? Okay, so Batman, he's like standing on top of like A roof? What do you
I
call like
think
a
it's
roof of a staircase?
I was gonna say it's a staircase coming down from like a train station or something, right?
Yeah, it reminds me of a mall. Like if I didn't read this and I didn't think they were outside, I don't know. My brain keeps telling me that takes place in a mall, but it doesn't.
I was thinking the same thing. It does look like a mall, but
Yeah,
it's
like,
not. It's supposed to be
pink,
outdoors.
like the pink background, kind of makes me think of like 80s or 90s like mall salmon, like
Like, this
salmon.
is the
mall.
40s.
I know. So, anyways, Batman, he's like standing on top of the like a roof of a staircase. We got a bunch of goons just kind of like one is like holding a cop back, and the other one looks like he's like about to stab him or he punched him. He punched him because the hat is falling off.
Oh, yep. There
One
you
of
go.
the goons is shooting Batman. The Robin is like swooping in from the roof of a little shop next door to like tackle one. And we got like in the foreground, we got a guy with a gun. So that's pretty much it for the splash page. All right, let me try reading it, the intro. When killers mock the law and taunt the blue-coated protectors of society, then it is time for the Batman to make his timely entrance. With his laughing young aide Robin, the boy wonder, this master crime smasher penetrates the hidden layer of the denizens of the underworld and meets their measures with swift actions of his own. Follow the Batman now as he fares forth on another mission, ferreting out and crushing the evil on Suicide Beat.
Hey, you did it.
I don't think I've ever seen the word ferreting used like that before. I don't think I've ever seen the word ferreting.
Yeah, there's a weird word to use in this description.
Yeah.
Definitely.
There are no ferrets featured in this issue.
Also, they use a lot of interesting adjectives in these in general. That's why I like them so much, because they're not words that I would pick, but they work pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, the master crime smasher penetrates the hidden layer of the denizens of the underworld. That's a wrong sentence.
Yeah.
That's not even the whole sentence.
Yeah, I ran out of breath saying it.
That's what I like about him, though. It forces you. You know what? Oh, man, okay. You still haven't watched the Harley Quinn TV show, have you?
No, not yet.
Oh, man, Clayface in that show. That's how he talks. Like that. Long run-on sentences like he's an actor.
Oh, okay.
So that's probably part of why I like him, because I love that character. And they also, like I said before, they remind me of like Ed Wood movies. Okay. It's late at night, and two cops are walking their beat together. They turn a corner and run across the dead body of Officer Grogan. They're not even surprised. They think that it might have been Fancy Dan who killed Officer Grogan. He makes sure that any cop who gets that beat, ends up dead one way or another. Grogan was actually the third one in 1 week. Back at the police station, the commander assigns Officer Kelly to the suicide beat. His fellow officers tried to warn him about it, but he is in too good of a mood to be brought down. His son becomes a police rookie today, and he's very excited. That very night, on Kelly's first patrol on the beat, actually, he is shot by a criminal who works for Fancy Dan. Kelly's son and the chief of police arrive on the scene not long after him being shot. His son is doubled over with grief, but he volunteers to take over the suicide beat from his late dad and take down Fancy Dan. The next morning, back at the precinct, Bruce Wayne and Commissioner Gordon are in the office when the police commander walks in and tells them about Officer Kelly and his son Jimmy. Gordon tells him that they will never get any cooperation from the citizens in that area because of how much Fancy Dan spoils them. He bought their loyalty. We cut to Jimmy on his first day on the beat. Everything is going well. But then someone throws a tomato at the back of his head. He gives chase and ends up in a dive bar. As he is questioning the bartender, he hears a voice behind him. It's none other than Fancy Dan.
Fancy Dan.
Fancy Dan. Jimmy is overcome with the urge to kill his father's murderer, but he holds it all in. Fancy Dan threatens him and tells him to make himself scarce. He makes a solemn vow to take down Fancy Dan and honor his father. Later that night, a reckless driver is whipping around the streets and nearly runs over a young girl. Officer Jimmy is able to jump in front of the car and save her just in the nick of time.
They really do like to have like little young girls almost get hit by cars in this.
I know, and then you have this man just like risking his life to save him.
Yep.
The little girl's father comes running over and apologizes and thanks Jimmy for his act of bravery. Just then, Batman and Robin appear. They see the driver speed off and decide to steal a car and take off in pursuit. The dynamic duo manage to catch up to the drunk driver. Batman leaps out of the car, leaps out of the driver's seat and into the other side of the other car. He decks the drunk guy in the face and knocks him out. After he slows the car to a crawl, he pulls the man out and hands him over to the police. The very next day, though, the drunk driver appears before a judge, and Fancy Dan's fancy lawyer gets the judge to let him off with a sob story.
That was pretty good.
Yep. About how he was only drunk because he was celebrating getting a new job. Back at Fancy Dan's hideout, he and his goons discuss taking out Jimmy. They decide not to kill Jimmy, but rather disable him and put him in the hospital. That same night, Jimmy is out patrolling his beat when he sees two men fighting. He runs over to intervene, but as soon as he arrives, the men turn their attention towards him and signal for more men to jump in. Suddenly, Batman and Robin appear and join the fray. Batman's fist darts out with the deadliness of a striking snake. Totally stole that from the comic, by the way. Robin takes a trash can to one of the thugs' heads, and even Jimmy throws a mean uppercut. A car swings around the corner, and the men all pile in. Jimmy opens fire, but the car speeds off into the night. The Dark Knight detective notices a slip of paper on the ground. It's a note between Skiggs and Fancy Dan, detailing how he is going to rig up an upcoming boxing match. A light bulb goes off in Batman's head. The next night, Batman goes to the boxing arena and takes the place of the reigning champion. He knocks him out and suits up for the match, which, by suiting up, I mean he takes off all of his clothes except for a pair of boxers and the mask.
Yeah, it reminded me of a somehow less silly version of the surfing Batman in Batman 66.
That's exactly what it reminded me of, too. It was so
Yeah.
good. I love how Bob Kane, or whoever's drawing these, never gives shirtless people nipples. Like, it looks so weird that Batman doesn't have nipples. But whatever.
Well, people didn't like it when they did give him nipples
Yeah, but
decades later.
they gave him nipples on the suit. That makes no freaking sense. He's got to have nipples on his actual chest. Anyways, enough of that. Okay. Where am I here? The Caped Crusader then takes the long walk out into the boxing ring. The ref gawks in amazement and tells Batman that he can't take the champ's place because nobody wants to pay to see him fight. Batman polls the crowd, and the crowd goes wild. The decision is unanimous, and the ref rings the bell. The Batman stalks his prey while his prey talks shit, and then he rushes in and delivers a clean blow to the gut and a wicked uppercut to his opponent, and his opponent is taken back. But then his opponent remembers that his gloves are coated with a stinging resin of sorts, and he gets up and decks Batman in the face. The resin burns Batman's eyes. Maffei, the other boxer, continues to pummel him while he's incapacitated. He then lets off and steps back to the ropes and gets a running start. He plans to put all the force he can muster behind this last punch. Batman looks up through his blurred vision and prepares for the right moment. As soon as Maffei is within Batman's reach, Batman rockets up from his stooped position and delivers an absolute stunner of a punch directly into Maffei's jaw. Maffei goes down for good. Batman is the winner. The crowd goes wild, and then suddenly the lights go out. When they come back on, Batman is gone. Outside the arena, the dynamic duo laugh about the situation when Fancy Dan and his mobsters come running out of the box office and take off in a getaway car. Batman tells Robin to round up Jimmy and then jumps onto the back of the car as it speeds away. He's kind of like hanging on to the spare wheel mount on the back of the car.
Yeah.
It's a very dangerous way to hold on to the back of a car.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
He does danger on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm. Not far from the arena, the driver notices Batman and stomps on the brakes, sending him flying off the back of the car, sprawling unconscious onto the asphalt. When he comes to, he's tied up in a warehouse. The floor is covered in gasoline, and Fancy Dan is lighting a fancy cigarette. He promises to make things hot for Batman, and then tosses the lit match as he walks out. Then Batman says some funny thing about like, "Oh yeah, you weren't joking about making it hot in here." So I thought that was kind of cheesy, but it was funny. The warehouse is engulfed in flames. Robin and Jimmy arrive on the scene and notice smoke and flames coming from the warehouse. He realizes that Batman must be in there. A woman begs them to save my baby, who is also trapped in the blazing inferno. Just then, Batman appears on the edge of the roof with a baby in hand. He's trapped on the burning roof. Jimmy bolts for the warehouse next door that has also caught fire. He makes his way to the other roof and signals to Batman. He tells Batman to jump, but the Caped Crusader doesn't want to risk dropping the baby or having the roof collapse. So instead, he throws the baby. He throws the baby from one roof to another.
You know what? It's a really you're desperate and you got to think fast. And
Man, what if Jimmy was just one of those people that just can't catch at all, though? Like, just
Yeah.
fumbles everything.
Oof.
It could have been bad.
The worst fumble.
Thankfully,
I mean, we do know from Batman's previous football adventure though that he is good at punting.
yeah, Batman's an athlete.
Yeah.
But we don't know anything about Jimmy.
Yeah.
So, but thankfully, Jimmy catches the baby, and both of the men are able to jump down to the firefighters and the trampolines below. Which I also don't understand. If Batman didn't want to jump down to the trampoline with the baby, why is it okay for Jimmy to do it and then not Batman? He still ends up jumping down. Whatever.
Yeah.
We'll move past this. Batman and Jimmy return the baby to her mother and then take Skiggs into custody. The suicide beat is finally cleaned up, and the neighbors, and the neighbors are thrilled. Jimmy is a local hero. The end. This one was all over the place, but I kind of loved it because it was all over the place.
Yeah. it kind of feels like they had like 3 different ideas for like all 3 of those things could have been like stories on their own.
Yeah.
But they like threw them all in one story.
Here, read your thoughts, and then I'll tell you my thoughts real quick because mine are a little more complicated, I guess.
Okay. I had more thoughts that I wrote down that
Okay.
I remembered like as I was like remembering this. But yeah, like you have like the generational cop trauma. There's boxing. There's corrupt lawyers.
Mm-hmm.
I think Fancy Dan has more potential if they ever wanted to bring him back. Just like make everything like fancy as his gimmick.
Yeah, I like it.
That'd be a lot of fun. And then I was also remembering like this might be the first time Batman outside of McGonagall,
Mm-hmm.
which was still kind of like he was still trying to arrest him, but like this is the first time Batman and Robin are like 100% on the side of the cops, and like they're not trying to arrest him.
Right, they're treating him like an equal, like another partner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a shift. I don't know if that's going to continue. I mean, it will eventually at some point, I'm sure. But
I've got my theories as to why.
okay, let me know.
Okay. Yes, I agree with you. The story's all over the place, but at its core, it's kind of a what-if story.
Hmm.
What if Batman's parents weren't gunned down in front of him as a kid, but rather as an adult, right? What if
Oh.
Batman took the law, right, and became a cop instead of becoming a vigilante?
Mhm.
Jimmy only takes on the suicide beat to avenge the murder of his father. He and Batman share a common connection where their fathers were murdered in front of them,
Hmm.
and they both had the opportunity to pursue vengeance. It's just that Jimmy can do it as an adult, and he's
Yeah.
better able to process that grief, and Batman's able to help him because we know Batman has a soft spot for helping people whose parents have died.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that angle. Yeah, they definitely have something in common.
Yeah.
Like Jimmy was, yeah, he was an adult, so like it doesn't hit the same as it would when you're like an 8-year-old kid. And
I mean, he was crying and holding his
Yeah.
dead body, right? Like,
and I mean both of them, are middle class Jimmy has middle class existence, so he doesn't have the resources to
right.
become a full time vigilante.
Yeah, Batman's kind of privileged.
Yeah.
And he's very privileged in a lot of ways, but at least he's fighting for good.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's cool that like, and like Robin, Robin's parents died too.
Yeah,
So it's cool that like they're kind of like a little triage of like
Mhm.
superheroes whose parents all died in front of their eyes.
yep.
So I thought that was interesting. I didn't even pick up on that until like right towards the very end of the story too, and I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, they made such a big deal about his dad going in and
Yeah.
then getting murdered, and suicide beat being like his crime alley.
Yeah, we did kind of talk about in the previously about how the suicide beat could be like a crime alley.
Yeah.
And it's nice, it's comforting to think that if this is like the original crime alley, like potentially where Bruce Wayne's parents were murdered, that the cop on patrol of that crime alley, his parents were murdered or his dad was murdered,
Yeah.
And he's like a personal friend of Batman. So
I wonder when we'll finally have them revisit the origin and crime alley.
I don't know. I mean, I do know actually, but it's a ways out.
Okay. You want to get into the panels?
Yeah, there's a lot of fun panels in this issue.
Yeah, like this. I think the panels are more fun than the issue itself.
Yeah, for sure. I love some of the dialogue that we've been getting in these past issues, like these thugs.
Mhm.
I'll moita you.
Yeah, I think I had to pick it just because like the Moida.
Moita.
It's very curly, like from Three Stooges.
It was great.
Yep, and then Robin dumping a trash can on him, yelling "ashes to ashes."
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That trash can's bigger than Robin's entire body.
It is nice red, thick trash can, and you know that they it's not cheap Walmart crap.
Yeah. Did you pick these next 3 panels here? The boxing panels?
I did just one because I like it when they do like the art on the 2 guys like in the crowd is just really good.
Yeah, it is.
Just love love it when they do just like weird looking guys. And then like I had to pretty much do like every panel of Batman in a boxing like
Yeah,
it's insane.
it's so fun. I just like all the dialogue here too. I love moments where I always like pick panels where there's like 2 people or 3 people and they're reacting to Batman.
Mhm.
So like this first one where this guy's like, "Yes, we want the Batman," and then the guy in the background's like, "Yeah, we want Batman." Like it's always funny to me when characters in comic books back up each other's statements.
Yeah.
You know, like it's clearly like it's just writing, but like
And it kind of goes like along with my I don't know if you listened to the episode or not yet, the Viola Vein.
yeah,
Yeah. My like not a theory, but just kind of like a thing I said there where like Batman's become like a community figure in Gotham.
he really has.
Like
Yeah, he's
you could be at a boxing match and all of a sudden
there's Batman.
Batman is the centerpiece and it's just like, yeah, roll with it.
Yeah, you know what movie actually got that right?
Hmm.
Batman Forever.
Hmm.
Yeah,
God, I need to revisit those.
Batman and Robin kind of tried to do the same thing, but it was much more cringy.
Oh, with the DJ and the
Yeah.
Oh wait, what's Forever?
Forever's the one with the credit card.
the credit
and,
card.
Like, he's like they're like making bets on poison, or they're like trying to auction off Poison Ivy.
Which one had the one with the where he's
Oh, wait,
he's
that's Batman and
skipping
Robin,
this-
dude. Poison Ivy's
yeah,
Batman and Robin.
Yeah. Which
That-
one's the one where he's skipping the CD like a record?
That's Batman Returns.
Oh
Wiki,
man.
wiki, wiki. When he's like trying to, yeah, he's like
I don't
trying
even
to
have
out
to
the
point
penguin.
out. Yeah, I don't have to point out that wait, no, Returns where he's skipping
Yeah,
a
it's a
CD.
CD and he's skipping it, and it sounds like a DJ skipping a record.
I don't
It's when he's playing back that part where the Penguin is talking about how he's gonna like take advantage of all the citizens of Gotham.
No, he did it at like a party, I'm sure.
Well, that definitely happens in Batman Returns. I know for
Yeah.
a fact because I watch
Hmm.
that movie multiple times a year.
I don't know. I saw it last year. It was that one's pretty fresh in my head. I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, the specific scene is like Batman is in the Batcave and Alfred's standing right behind him, and he's doing that, and they're both like straight faced, which is why I think it's so funny.
All right, we're gonna have to watch that soon.
Yeah.
So the next panel after the boxing is. Did you pick this one?
Yeah, I did. Okay, here, I'll scroll down a little bit and get to where you're at here. You know why I picked it? Because they steal a freaking car.
They do.
Like,
Yep.
And it happens again in the next issue. They're just stealing people's vehicles right and left.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this one they steal it. They steal it while helping the cops.
Yeah, and then they never bring it back.
No, no. It's definitely kind of reminds me of that meme that spreads around. I don't know if you've seen it or not. There's multiple variations where like someone's like it just shows like a guy. He looks very like upset, and it says like watching Superman pick up your car, throw it at the villain, and miss.
You're like, yeah, oh,
Yeah.
damn it, didn't even do anything.
Yep.
And-
Well, not even that you're like happy. It's just like, oh, you had to pick my car. Like I still have payments on that.
yeah. I mean, if it worked and it killed the villain, I'd be thrilled. And then, you know, your insurance would cover it.
That's a maybe.
Maybe, you know, in Metropolis, I bet you there's Superman insurance, but they
Oh,
only cover
yeah.
your vehicle if it is actually the weapon used to kill the supervillain, not the one that misses.
Yeah. Okay. So they stole the car. Is that all the panels?
No, I also like this
Okay.
one because this whole sequence is like really good. It's a kind of a recreation of a car sequence from like the very early issues of Detective Comics, but it's done so much better. Like you can really feel the motion
Yeah.
when these cars are racing down the road and they're like neck and neck with each other. And when Batman jumps from one car to another, you're like, it really feels like he might miss or he might fall, like jump at too late or something.
Yeah, and you got the guy shooting at Batman as
Yeah.
he's jumping.
And the dialogue, come on, he's like, I'll plug ya full of holes. Like fulla, like Fulla.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Plug ya full of holes.
I don't know why I didn't think to put Batman throwing the baby.
Why did,
Like-
it's
like
the baby's like silhouetted by the moon.
I know
like
sometimes
they make a huge deal out of it.
sometimes you're reading these things and you're like, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, okay, you don't question it. But like seeing this out of context, just like isolated on its own, it's like Batman just threw a baby.
Yeah. I like his I like his reasoning behind it because Jimmy's like, can you jump it? No. Dash, dash, dash. Can't take a chance with the kid in my arms. This roof will cave in any moment. Only one thing to do. Get ready. Catch. And then he throws the baby. Like,
Yep.
jeez. He's not even like, I'm going to throw you the baby. He's just like, no, catch. And then throws it. Like,
Yeah.
good stuff.
And then the final one, I think you picked
I
this
picked
one as
this one
well.
too. For obvious reasons. Because I got to describe it. It's Batman decking a guy in the face super hard. But it's doing that cool thing where like he's punching him in the way that like his fist covers his mouth, and so like he just get this like scary Batman scowl that's like all shadowy.
Yeah, I can see why you've chose that one.
Yeah, and then it says the Batman's fists flash out with the deadliness of a striking snake, which is I stole that, from my synopsis. But then Batman's like, "My, you must see your dentist more often," as he's punching this guy, and then you see like 3 of his teeth coming out.
Yeah, this panel reminds me of one that I chose for the next issue.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that one. 'Cause I think that was one of the weirder panels.
I want to take some of our favorite panels and turn them into buttons or something. If we
Yeah.
can actually find ones that'll fit like that.
I don't know if we'd legally be able to.
You can. We don't have to sell them. I just want to do it and stick them on my wall on a bulletin board or something.
Yeah, maybe. All right. Well, I think that's wrapping it up for this issue, right?
That is.
This episode. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's on the next episode?
So the next episode we're going to start Batman number 7, a story called Practical Jokers.
Wonder what that's about.
G. And then Detective Comics number 57, 24 Hours to Live.
That's a good title.
Yes. So, and I think once again I got like the better story.
Yeah. I like the Joker story.
Oh yeah, both were solid. All right, so thank you for listening, and if you can, give us a review. That helps out a lot.
Yeah, please do. Thank you to the person who left us a review on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, we got like our second review after a few months, and we're super thankful. So thank you so much, and you have a good night.